it's actually evening here now. So, good evening from Northern Ontario. My name's Dave, and this is Mercura Siding, my N-scale layout. Now, those of you who have good hearing, which I don't have, but if you do have good hearing, you can hear a diesel sitting on the track warming up. I promised I would have this layout running a train by the end of September, and I'm about to fulfill that promise. So, without further ado, I'm going to grab my cab. I'm going to switch to camera 3, and I'm going to turn the speed up on our little unit, and you're about to see the first train ever run, well, on the channel anyway, run on the network, the layout. So there we are. Now she's going to come past here. We'll switch over to there, and you'll be able to see her just pull right through here. The next camera will be camera 6. She's going to go rolling by the quarry at the far end. And here she comes just about now. There you go. And then finally, camera 5, as she turns the corner at the far end and comes shooting along here. So I said I'd have a train running, and I've got a train running. But not without some casualties. So I'm just going to let her run. She's running at speed step 22, so it's fast enough for her. And, we'll just talk a little bit about what happened over the course of the last week. Well, the first thing that happened over the course of the last week was I had to program all my locos. I'm going to switch to camera 1 here now. So I had to, of course, I had to program all of these little toys here. Not all of them seem to be working on the on the layout. They work fine on the programming track. I got one little one that works really well on the layout, except she won't go over points for switches. I think there's a little piece of metal that's hanging down there on the coupler, and I think it's catching on some of the points as it goes across the point, because every time it hits point, she derails. So that's going to have to get fixed. I'm going to snip that darn thing off, and I'm going to bend it up and make sure it isn't in the way. The other thing that happened was this curve that comes out of the top of the yard was too tight. And these bigger diesels, when they did run around the yard, were having trouble negotiating that curve. So I had to rip out that track, rip out all the wiring for it, and give it a bigger sweep. The other thing that happened, and I said to myself, don't do this, Dave. Don't run this until you've got a circuit breaker in place. Well, on the far corner, back over there, I had a curved point, curved switch, and I was running a diesel around the corner. It derailed and caused a short, and the result of that short is a diesel that now looks like this, where you can see that front bogey. It's hanging off because it melted almost all the plastic on the front of the diesel. So, lesson learned. I'm going to have to find somebody to repair that for me, because there's no way in God's green earth I'm going to be able to do it. But I had ordered this. Now this is the NCE EB1 circuit breaker. They make two kinds of circuit breakers. One has bulbs, light bulbs in it, and of course when there's a short, whatever block that particular part of the of that circuit breaker is hooked to, the light comes on and it tells you that there's a short in the somewhere in the line. This one, on the other hand, is a digital one, and so the DCC feeds in this side, and the track comes out of this side. So I'm now going to take the time and install this so I don't burn up another loco. And it's going to be a money saver, I think. Now I can't remember how much I paid for it. I think it's somewhere around 60 US, I'm not sure. The packaging is somewhere with the package slip in it, I don't know. Anyway, they're hard to come by. They're not available from NCE's web page. I went in and ordered some, went to order some cables from them, and believe it or not, the shipping was like $170 for an $8 cable. So I quickly decided not to do that, and I went and online to just a regular hobby shop and found them. But I tell you, a lot of the NCC's and NCE stuff right now is out of stock for some reason. So this is going to get installed later tonight. This video is going to be short because all I wanted to do was show you that I had kept my promise of making sure that there was a running train. So once again, where are you? She's just coming into the yard. So there she is at the top of the yard, coming straight towards the camera. The cars are all micro trains. The green CP ones are pre-weathered. The CN one is not. The black ballast hopper is not is also CP, but it's the old logo, the old written out text, not the flying arrow kind of thing that comes off. So those three green ones are the green was to designate them as paper mills. I have another switcher that runs beautifully on the layout, except for one thing. The couplers are not KD couplers. They're something else. And I'm going to have to go online and do some research to find out how this works, because I can't couple it to anything. Nothing couples to it. The coupler is a closed loop. It's not even open. You can't even put things together unless I start putting a piece of wire in there. It's not going to work at all. So that's it for this week. It is a short one. I guarantee you. Guaranteed it will be a short one. Next week, I'm going to do the backdrop on the far side of, let's go back to one. On the far side over here, you can't see my hand, can you? I'll point like that. Over there. The background that goes behind the quarry. I've got to figure out an order of operations. I've got a board that's already curved, but I need to add about another 50 inches to it. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to join those. I want it to be one continuous piece, and then I'm going to, I have 4 background images to work with, and I want to glue them on and get it in place, and I'm probably going to have my wife help me lift the whole mess up and drop it onto the layout, and I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to have to put a piece of another piece of masonite along the back wall there, so I can glue the backdrop so that it's one continuous piece. They come in 6-foot pieces, and of course the boards I have are 8 feet. So that means I've got to have a join somewhere. So give you one more loop of this train going by me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull off. I'm going to stop it here. And I've got to be real careful about, I've got pins and tools and stuff laying around here that every one of them's a short waiting to happen. So what I'm going to do here is just, I'm just going to quickly pull off the this little local that I've got put together, and I'll run the CN switcher. That little there we go. This little switcher is the one that's going to be working in the quarry, doing the switching there. The color scheme of the quarry is a soft green, and so that one fits in there, and I just have to program that one. So, using my NC Pro cab, I'm going to go select loco. This loco's number is 1600, and I have the non-sound version of this because I didn't have the money. Okay, hold on. Enter. There we go. And we'll run this in the opposite direction. So I do know my track is got power on it already, but there's still a lack of wiring to be done, because I've got to wire the yard completely, and I haven't even tackled that. But that's good. I'm going to do that separated, not part of showing you a video of me wiring that, because I've already given you a video of how I do my wiring, and it's not going to change for the yard. So this little 1600 switcher, she moves along. She's got lots of torque. She should be good for yard switching and for mainline use. And then once I get these ones figured out and working, I'm going to make up a consist at least of 2 of these, and the others are going to be separate. I've got a couple sitting over there that on my programming loop that just can't get to work right now. I'm probably going to have to reset them back to factory settings, and then we'll do that. So here she comes, and there she is. Just back her up. And emergency stop, just make sure everything's dead. Having the same problem with these 2 diesels here down on the track, these 2 big ones. This one, the sound works, everything works, except she will not move an inch. And watch it prove me wrong here while I try. So again, select local, and it's 9354. Enter. And there I am turning it up all the way to 28, and you can see it's doing nothing. So I'll have to figure this one out. But like I say, I made a promise to you guys, and it's done. So next week, we'll put that backdrop in place, because basically the mine is done except for one building that needs some interiors done on it, and then all the vehicles have to be painted to finish it off. I will be doing a video on putting a power substation in the mine. I've got a 3D print that I have to print out that will fit in a specific location, and that'll be a video as well. And then after that, we'll probably go back to the workbench, and I'll be building models and doing other things to get this layout going. But now that the track is working, it's a major milestone for Makara's Hiding. So, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribing is free. Ring that bell and get notified the next time I set up another video. Be good to yourself, be good to your family, take care of them. And remember, it's your railroad and you can run it any way you want. So thanks, and I'll see you next week.